Hello everyone, it's Tracey. Welcome back to SkatKatz. Thanks very much for joining me. It's Tracey Tuesday again, and let's continue on with my Christmas extravaganza, where I'm making some Christmas projects to inspire you right up until Christmas. This week I'm doing a Christmas tree advent calendar. This calendar has been designed by Laurie Whitlock. It is a cutting file available for purchase in the Silhouette Design store. It's design number 338370. So let's get started. This is a Papercraft project and I will be cutting out the pieces with my Silhouette Cameo 5 using the electrostatic bed. So I've got my Silhouette Cameo 5 here set up with the electrostatic bed, going through cutting out the pieces for the advent calendar. The Cameo 5 makes this easy work. There are quite a lot of pieces with this calendar and it didn't take very long to cut out all of the pieces required for the calendar. The footage here is sped up 6 times. And it's very easy to get the cardstock up off the electrostatic bed. And not having to deal with the sticky mat, it really is very convenient with these sort of projects, especially when you're cutting out a lot of pieces. I really could sit and watch my cutting machines just do their thing. But usually when I'm filming for a tutorial, I'm usually in my craft room doing other things as well. This is some gold mirror board and the Cameo 5 cut through it with no problems at all. I used the same settings as the heavy cardstock or the textured cardstock, just had to up the force a little bit. So this is the last little bit of footage that I have available for the cutting of the pieces for the calendar, and we're going to move on now to the assembly of the project, which is probably my most favourite part. So I've got all of the pieces cut out here. I'm just moving off to the side what I don't need straight away. Also have some brads for a bit later on, and there's my glue. So these pieces here, it is suggested in the tutorial that comes with the cutting file to cut this from chipboard, but I don't have any. So I've just done 2 layers of this light brown cardstock, which I will layer together to give the project some strength instead of using the chipboard. Sometimes you just have to make do with what you have. So you're going to see me here have a little bit of an accident. I accidentally dropped this piece straight onto my cutting mat, and as you can see there's glue everywhere. So I just grabbed a baby wipe to wipe this up. You could also keep a damp cloth nearby for any sorts of mishaps like this that happen when you're paper crafting. So I'm just gluing the 2 pieces of each of these pieces together for strength and set them aside to dry. Then I'll move on to the green tree pieces and I'm applying the gold star layering pieces. It's very easy to see where all of the pieces go with this project, and I didn't really need to refer to the PDF instructions. Did have a little bit of trouble with my cutting mat staying in place whilst I was working on this project. It's never really happened before, but I might have to put some anti-slip grip mat onto the bottom of it to keep it in place. It was very annoying having to move this mat all of the time back into place. So when you're gluing big pieces like this, you do need to work reasonably quickly before the glue starts drying. So just giving that a good press down with my burnishing tool does help the glue get a good stick. I'm just getting that last piece glued into place before I move on. So this is where I realised I had stuffed up a little bit here and these brown pieces of the trunk should have been placed onto the light brown cardstock before the green cardstock went on. But it didn't really affect the look of how this project looks in the end, so I just kept going. So you can see this is how the tree is going to go together. They slot together like so. Now I'll put some glue on this decorative panel for the base and put that into place. And then I'm going to set all of those pieces aside to dry because there's a lot of glue here. And then I'm going to move on to putting these little advent boxes together. These go together very simply. It's not a hard little box to put together. And they all go together in exactly the same way. A little brad goes in that little hole and that acts as a little handle to open the advent box. So that's one done, and then I'll do another. But I won't bore you with the rest of the 22 because they all go together in exactly the same way. It's a nice sized little advent box. So I'll let all of the pieces dry overnight because there was a lot of glue with the tree and the base piece. And I came back the next morning to put this all together. So I'm just positioning the tree over that cross. And I'm going to put some glue on that cross. I did try this glue first, thinking that it wouldn't work, but it did. And I had my hot glue heating up in the meantime because I thought if this doesn't stick, I'll use the hot glue. But I didn't need the hot glue in the end. So I'm just holding this here in place until the glue sets up. So a few moments later, the glue had set up really well and I was able to move on. I did not end up using the hot glue at all. So I'm putting my little boxes, little advent boxes here into position. I spent a little bit of time fluffing around here, sorting out where I wanted them to go and in what order. Got them all into position and then decided I'm just going to start gluing them down now. I could have used hot glue here, but I decided just to stick with my normal glue. So I'm just getting all of these little boxes glued into position and working my way around the tree. You'll notice off to the side there are some red pieces of cardstock. Those pieces go together to make a bow that goes on top of the top box, as you can see in the footage there. So I'm just getting these last boxes into place on that last section of the tree, working out which order that I'm going to put them in, and then I put together the last bow and stuck that in place onto the top of that box. And I really loved the way this was looking and how it was coming along. So just give you a look there. That's basically it finished without the final decoration. And then I was thinking this would be good if you could turn it. So I decided to put a Lazy Susan bearing plate underneath it. That's the one that I used there. I've had this in my stash for a long time, but I guess you could get them from hardware stores. So I went ahead and hot glued that to the bottom of the advent calendar like so, and now it turns, which would be fun when you're actually opening up the boxes. You can turn it easily to find which number that you're wanting to open that day. So I did go ahead off camera to finish decorating this. I put numbers on the front of the little advent boxes and added little baubles to the tree. I love the way this turned out. So that's my video finished for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching and that you feel inspired to make an advent calendar for this year's Christmas. Don't forget to check the description box below the video and the Facebook post associated with this video for links to products I've used here today. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great day, and until next time, it's bye for now.